So for this week, I've kind of had enough of dealing with copyright issues when it comes to large channels. For this week, we're just not going to do that. We're going to cover a small channel. We're going to cover this video from this small channel. And what's beautiful about this video is that while it's not long, there's so much packed into it. There's so much packed into this one little video. And again, this is not some, guy that needs to be browbeaten, needs to be exposed or whatever like that. I just watched this video and enjoyed the hell out of it because this guy's a fucking idiot. So let's just enjoy it together.
Anyways, there's just something on my mind I want to talk about. And that is video games. Surprise. But I've noticed recently, and by recently I mean since the beginning of time, video game characters, at least the leads, are almost always white dudes, like in their 30s.
You pick up a puzzle game, white men. You pick up a fucking visual novel, white men. You pick up a Japanese game, motherfucking Caucasian men. They're just everywhere. Across all genres, across this very globe that is the gaming industry. There are just white men everywhere. Or you're fucking stupid. And that is a fucking ridiculous thing to say. Because when there are games where you can literally create your own protagonist that are not at all new, right? This is not a new fucking concept. To state that white men are throughout gaming is a dumb fucking claim. If you're being specific to a genre of games, then be specific to that genre. And I'd still disagree. I'd still say you're likely wrong. But you're not. You're saying gaming, to which you sound fucking moronic. But let's just get off of that. Let's just continue.
And recently it's been white dudes with guns, usually with muscles, short hair. Like, look at Commander Shepard, and then look at, every character around him that looks very similar. Yeah, he has a recognizable face because he's been in 3 games.
So I know how that might sound in terms of when he says look around him. You can misinterpret that and think that he's actually referring to the characters within the game itself, but he's actually referring to other characters that look like Commander Shepard. But this is a counterproductive fucking name to invoke. You idiot. FemShep. Hello, you fucking idiot. Why would you cite this example? You just cited a fucking game that doesn't meet the criteria of what you're speaking to. Even if you're right, to some degree that you're right about the games that you're mentioning here, if you're speaking to shooters, say shooters. If you're speaking to games set in space, or are third person, or are whatever, speak to that. But if you're going to do that, don't cite the games in which you can make your character something that isn't white and male, you stupid fuck.
For the most part, there's a lot of Space Marine-y, 30-something-year-old, stubbly, short-haired guys with guns. And it's to the point now where I think myself and a lot of my friends, I'm sure there's a lot of you out there that feel this way, that when a game is announced, you see a game trailer, I remember specifically this year at E3, I'm watching game trailers, and they start off all mysterious, and you're like, oh man, what's this game about? And then there's the lead character, white dude, good looking white dude, cisgendered, normal, white dude. How many stories can you tell with a white dude? All of them, apparently.
You act as though that the industry is not catering to your whim. These games exist. These games fucking exist. So I have no clue what you're talking about. Name me a fucking RPG that this isn't an option in. Name me one. Find me one. The Witcher? Is that it? There's not the Fallout series. There's not the Elder Scrolls series. There's not fucking every BioWare game. There's not the countless fucking indie games that exist. of which I'll cite one right here. There you go. There's an option for gender. It's amazing to me that anyone is still invoking this claim at this point in time, if ever, in gaming. You state this as if it's just this bald-faced fucking fact when the overwhelming amount of evidence says that you sound and look and present yourself as a fucking poser, if not a total mental defective.
Not that I'm saying that, games need to shoehorn in or, have to not have a white guy. Just, aren't there, thousands of stories that can be told without these guys, just white guys? Isn't there, just tons of stories you can tell just by having to start with that character and then develop a story around it?
You heard it here first, folks. Start with a character in mind and then create your game around it. Well, we've already seen how that's played out, as we saw in Mass Effect 3, with designing your game around progressive politics. We saw a resurfacing of that in Dragon Age Inquisition, to where they seem to have built the game in some ways around the fucking progressive politics and the identity politics they played. It didn't work, I'll tell you that. Both of those games were fucking awful. And so when you state that notion, not only is it ridiculous, it's been tried before, and it hasn't worked out.
Start with a black female. Make her whatever. A black female astronaut. She's in space. And she's fighting aliens that are aliens. And she's fighting them.
A black female that's fighting aliens in space. Doesn't sound at all like something that could be, Mass Effect.
That's it. That's all you gotta do. It's not that hard. You just take something and you put them there. You put that kind of character there and you just do it.
That's right. You just do it. You just do it. You put Mass Effect in your cart and you download the game. That's it. That you do it that way. You do it.
But it's not hard. And there's just so many characters that you could use and have them more than just like a lame sidekick or anything. I don't know. Put in a trans woman. An independent trans woman who runs a city and beats up criminals.
Let's just take his idea at face value. You have a trans woman that runs a city and then is also some sort of superhero that combats criminals or something, all right? You take that idea. Now, how do you identify that this is a trans woman without making the game specific to her identity? Meaning there is no other story other than this is this person defined only by their identity. And I got news for you, brother. This has been tried before, you stupid cunt. And it doesn't work. Identity politics is not how you create a decent game. Even David Gettr, which, not to get on a tangent here, but David Gettr did a comic, and I'll try to find it. I do own an actual physical copy of this comic. But he actually did have a quote-unquote trans woman in this comic. And he had to be heavy-handed. The way that we knew this was actually a trans character was to see the bare chest of this character and identify that it was effectively a fucking man in drag, which, I'm not trying to be, disrespectful here, but that's literally how we understood that this was a trans character. Maybe it can be done eloquently or subtly, but I've only seen so many examples, and every fucking time it's been, this person is not cis. It's been just so fucking heavy-handed. It's been just so boldly done, to which it's just like, whoa, it's practically for shock value. If you can find a way for writers to identify a trans woman without fucking showing their chest or their genitalia, if you can find a way to do it subtly, fucking write a game then, bro. You've just found, you're a better writer than David Gettr now. You're literally a better writer than the fucking top writer at BioWare for Dragon Age. So if he can't do it and you can, submit a fucking resume. Otherwise, you're talking out of your ass, man.
And the moment I see a game announced that has like a female lead or a lead that's just not a straight up white dude with a gun, I get excited.
In a quarter of a mile, exit to the right.
And like I said, there's nothing wrong with having a white dude with a gun. There's nothing wrong. You're allowed to do that. It's just, it's been done so much that I'm getting bored of it.
Okay, Mr. Can't have any white mans in my games. Here's an entire nation just short of being devoid of white men. Here's a whole fucking industry that you can choose from. Yes, you may have to import games. You may have to deal with localization issues. You may have to deal with shitty English voice actors or subtitles. But here is a entire fucking nation that you can buy games from that are not involving white men. For fuck's sake.
Like, the fact that I get excited because you can play as female Spartans in Halo 4 should say something.
If you care about character creation, why the fuck are you playing Halo? I'm not a Halo fan. I don't play Uncharted, I don't play Assassin's Creed. There are a ton of series and franchises I don't fucking play. Why are you choosing a game that has a preset protagonist when you are so fucking obsessed with identity politics? There are countless RPGs to play that do not involve preset protagonists. Play one of those games, you psychotic motherfucker.
And the fact that they made a big deal about it, or there was a big deal made about female soldiers finally being included in Call of Duty, should say something as well.
Yeah, Call of Duty added female character models to the multiplayer, and it still couldn't save it from the fact that the PC community for Call of Duty is now fucking dead. What is the point of adding character models to a fucking multiplayer game in which the community's dead? Anyone that buys the game for that reason is a fucking idiot.
You know why? Because I like things that are different. I like differences. I like variety. Variety is the spice of life, right?
This fucking cunt talks about variety, and he's mentioning Halo and Call of Duty. Dude, what fucking planet are you on right now to say this kind of stupid shit? I mean, it is unfucking real.
I plan on trying to help change this, the way we see video game characters. Working on a project. I don't want to talk about it too much. But
alright, ladies and gentlemen, here comes the pitch for his new indie game, where he takes a character that he has created, which is, I'm assuming, a black trans female in a wheelchair among all the other identifiers, where he's going to base the development of his game around that character.
My goal with the project is to promote inclusivity and diversity in gaming and get people talking about it and hopefully, make some change.
Well, with 70-something views, I would say mission accomplished. You've created that discussion and the industry has changed forever. Is this not everything that I said it was going to be? There is so much packed into this one video. The insane fucking logic of people like this that yammer on about diversity. The only thing that these people lack is a diversity of viewpoints. They all sound the fucking same. Do I need to say much more than this? Do I really need to go on anymore about how fucking stupid this guy is? So this is what I want all of you to do. So here's how we're going to finish off this here video. I want all you white men that are my subscribers to name one game that doesn't have a white protagonist in it. It can be from any genre, it could be from any nation, it could be any kind of game that you can think of. Even if it's a puzzle game that doesn't have a protagonist, that counts too. It could be any game that doesn't have white man as the protagonist. Think of one of them, leave it in the comment section, and let's just say, I think we're going to come across maybe a dozen or so of them kind of games. But maybe he's right. But until the next video, thanks for listening.